Well, it's Tuesday, the day after the holiday. I'm sitting at the Starbucks over here. So I had my decaf venti Americano. And so it's already getting hot. But I went inside, got some hot water. And so I'm getting this. I do like a combo. Usually I have another one, but so this is all herbal tea. Very kind of like spicy, you know, cool. So I spent the weekend in Mississauga, Ontario. And then yesterday came back to Cambridge. A bit too much water. And started looking for a load. So I had a haircut. Looking good. But I kept most of my beard. I know you guys love my beard, so I cannot deny my subscribers the fun. And so the news are, let me just check here. I think this side looks better usually for some reason. Old Volkswagen. I found a funny channel here on YouTube. French girl, 25 years old, lives in France, has no connection to Russia, does not have Russian parents. For some reason she created a YouTube channel where she plays the 5-row concert, very expensive button accordion, and she sings in Russian folk songs. And she looks like a Russian girl, you know. She has like a braid, you know, and long hair. Amazing. And she has 64,000 subscribers. Yeah, I was just looking at all these musical instruments, you know, thinking maybe I should pick up a musical instrument. And I did a search online, and you know, what's the easiest instrument to learn after 50? And answer number one is piano. And then guitar is somewhere down the list, and then some kind of drums are somewhere the two. They say they're easy, like, you know, those two drums, what they call bongos. And accordion, button or piano accordion are also not that. And did you know, this is a true fact, when I was about 10 or 11 years old, of course back then it was customary to, well, just like now, but back then it was especially typical to send children to music school. It's not like a real music school, it's just that 2 or 3 times a week I would go to the nearby Dom Kultury, House of Culture, which is kind of like, over here it's probably known as community center, right? It was called DK Aviatorov, Dom Kultury Aviatorov, Aviators House of Culture. And that's where you would go to, you know, for dances on the weekend, and they had all these teachers. You pay them, and they would teach your kid, you know, to play whatever you want, like piano, accordion, guitar, right? I think most girls went for piano, and I went for accordion, or баян по-русски, but I wanted a real accordion, piano accordion. But my folks didn't make as much money, and I remember I had a buddy living in the next подъезд, the next entrance to our multi-apartment complex with no elevators, what they call a walk-up apartment building. And of course we were the lucky ones that ended up living on 4th floor. So that's how I built my strength as a youngster, because I had this super heavy Ukraina bicycle with one gear, and I was dragging it up and down 4 flights of stairs to the 4th floor. So my legs were, you know, pretty big, let's just say that. So anyway, so this Greg, my buddy at the next entrance, we were pretty much the same age, and his folks were also his dad was military just like mine, and we were dreaming about, we wanted to play the accordion because it was like a fancy instrument. It sounded great, you know, like the real one, with the what I call real one, with the piano keys, right? That's why it's called piano accordion. And but the best ones were German. Even though I think I looked up on Google, you guys can correct me, but I think actually the button accordion, or баян, is older as in invention. I think it came from Germany, and then the piano accordion, I think it was designed in France, like 50 years later. You know, I guess people got fed up with all those buttons and they wanted something simpler and with a slightly different sound, you know. And so anyway, so this Greg, my buddy, because his parents, you know, looked like somehow they made more money or something, so they were able to get him a super expensive German real piano accordion. And I still remember it, like it was a beautiful, and the sound was so much better than I got a Russian-made button accordion, or баян in Russian, with 3 rows of buttons. And I still remember I asked my mom, I said, "Mom, come on, like Greg is now playing the accordion, why did you give me this баян?" And she says, "Serежka, Sergei, this thing is 110 rubles. The accordion, the piano accordion, was like 250 or 300. So basically it was the entire monthly salary for my dad and my mom to buy the accordion. Because I think my dad made like 250 rubles a month, and my mom made like 120, 140, somewhere there. So pretty much back then, like 1 ruble was like $1. And of course prices were very cheap, but still, I still remember. So I was envious of that guy. But I went to the school, I showed potential, my instructor said I had the abilities, but I only lasted a year, because back then it was customary to kill people with classical music, even though sometimes now I listen to classical music. But why would I want to learn how to play button accordion doing all these cantatas and symphonies, you know, by Chopin and all these crazy people, right? So I want to play modern music, you know, like just maybe to copy some recent hit from the radio, or maybe sing some old Russian songs, you know. So, and then piano, I started looking at pianos, and they had these, of course nowadays it's all electrical, like synthesizers, right? We call them synthesizer in Russian. Electric piano, 76 keys, and it's like 6, 7, 8 times cheaper than the real piano accordion. Because as I discovered yesterday, a good accordion will cost anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000, which makes no sense to me. Whereas this Yamaha keyboard, portable keyboard with millions of voices and possibilities, you can play as is pretty much any instrument, including accordion and saxophone and flute and stuff like that. This one is like 500 US. It's like a no-brainer, but so far the jury is still out. But I found a model where you can use batteries, so I could probably play in the truck, and also it only needs 5 watt of power. Like the adapter on that thing for charging is pretty much like this, that what you use for a cell phone. So I think even my 12-volt adapter in the truck should be able to supply that much juice. Moving on. So I'm searching for a load, right? And yesterday I talked to a guy that has a load in the south, but they keep disappearing on me, right? We exchange a few emails, they answer right away, then I ask them like one final question: can you do this? If you do this, like if you can pay me by wire transfer, I'll go there. I can be there. I need 2 days to get there. Nothing. Disappeared. Friday, nothing. Then Monday, yesterday, my phone rings, and it's this guy, and he says, "Hey, I'm on the road, I'm traveling. I'll call my office tomorrow to set this up." Because we agreed. They said, "Yeah, we can pay by wire transfer." And why I'm asking about the wire transfer is because their credit is not good enough for my factoring company. That's the problem. I worked with them before. Back in 2018, I found a load that I did for this particular company. I know they factored them, but now something happened and their credit went down. And so now it's 20 to 11, so I'm still waiting. I'm waiting because they're in Western USA, so they're like 3 hours behind. So when they get back to the office, I don't know. But also they said, "When can you load?" I said, "Well, I can be there. I need 2 days. If I leave early Tuesday, I can load Thursday morning." So now it's already almost lunchtime, and now I'm thinking, if I do this, I will have to cancel my appointment for the vaccine tomorrow. And I don't want to do that because it's still over here in Canada. It's not that easy. You cannot, well, some places say you can walk in, but I'm trying to get this Pfizer vaccine, right, which seems to be more problem free, and so I have an appointment tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the local clinic, so I don't want to miss that. So this guy does call me back. I'll say, "You know what, I don't think 1 day should be a deal breaker. Just let me leave tomorrow after lunch, because this vaccine thing takes like 5 minutes, right?" So I'll do the vaccine at 11:15, or what is it, 11:10, and then I'll just jump in my truck, and 12 o'clock I'll be on the road. And so let's say I do, so then I'll just load Friday morning instead of Thursday. And then some guy, and then once again we keep talking about where's that email? Oh yeah, here we go. I keep talking to my broker about that deck. Remember, that's still ongoing. So the one I received this morning is that he's waiting on hearing back from the dealer, from the Fontaine dealer, to get timing. How long will it take to build the deck, and how long will it take to install on the trailer. I told them, don't worry about installation, but they want to hear from the dealer about the schedule. And he says the guy from the dealer, the rep, was not in the office Friday, but he'll get back to me today. Once I know that, I will firm up approval with the bank and send you final approval terms. And of course I still have no clue what kind of interest rate they're looking for, what kind of monthly payments, because again, these guys want me to, instead of borrowing $52,000, that's too boring for them, they want me to borrow $144,000 because they want to pay off my trailer, right? I mentioned this before. And they say that's the only way for them to finance this deck. So they buy back the trailer from themselves and then they repackage the deal on new terms, and now it's only 4 years. They say maximum 4 years, and it's the trailer and the deck. And then when I sell the deck, I give them the money because they will consider that as down payment. So that's the deal. So they realize that I'll be selling the old deck. And so basically what's cool about this, yeah, the payments now extend by 2 years, because my trailer would be paid off in so in November, right? 19, 20, 21. So in November this year, my trailer is 3 years old, right? So like 2 more years after that, it's paid off. But now, so 2.5 years basically from now, right? But now instead of 2.5 years, we have 4. But I get an amazing deck, super low, and it's going to be 28 feet long instead of 26. Very important. And you know, the deck is the most visible part of the trailer. It's the most, you know, it's the biggest part of the trailer. So pretty much, you know, you upgrade the deck to a brand new deck, and it's a big deal. So the resale value of the trailer will be much better, in my opinion. Because now the deck will be, let's say I decide to sell it, you know, when it's paid off and get something else. So now in 4 years instead of 2.5, but the deck will be 4 years old, whereas the trailer, let's say, is 6 years old or 7 years old, right? So I don't know. I need to look at the terms, because I'm already sick and tired of all these payments. I'm telling you, like I need each month I have to come up with a lot of money. And then so that's what I got. And then I was asking a buddy of mine about shims, like if I get a load where I need to use 3+2, because he has a lot of experience with shimming, and this is my first modular trailer. And of course, modular is when you have to shim, right? At first I did not like it, but now I'm kind of used to it. And I asked him, you know, about shimming with a 3+2, and he says, no, don't shim behind the booster. It's not going to do anything good. It'll just push too much weight on the final axle where it's already lots of weight in there. So he says, just if you need to put more weight on the back there, increase the shims in front of the booster. He says critical. In front is much more important in front of the booster than behind the booster. And I was suspecting kind of that. That's why I asked him. I said, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to install a shim between the booster and the next axle? And he says no. All right. And the guy sent me I got 2 emails with load offers, pending loads. All right, what do we got? 75,000 pounds, 71,000 pounds, 54,000 pounds, 59. Oh wow, it's pretty cool. Hold on, this is interesting because it's only 500 miles. I can do all of these one by one if they can wait. Where do you need to be money wise? Who's paying for permits? I got a truck near Toronto, 500 miles away. Please advise. Thanks. That's how they, people don't like it when you say, okay, what do you pay? How much you want to pay? They don't like that. Doesn't sound good in English, right? So you want to say something, where do you need to be, or what is your budget, or any idea on the rate? Okay, then another one sent me she sent me a bunch of, but oh, it's a PDF. Okay, so quite often they send me an Excel and I have trouble viewing it on my, wow, this lady has like 2 sheets of paper, 2 pages, and of course they're all American. Starting, ending. Okay, Oregon, California, Washington, Pennsylvania, New York, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Oregon, Texas, Colorado. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that says Canada. New York, MA, I'm guessing Massachusetts, Michigan, Texas, California, South Carolina, California, Iowa, Colorado, California, Arizona, Arkansas, Oregon, MO. Not a single load for Captain Sergei. I cannot do any of these because I don't like prison food. Gotta stay away from loads inside US. Man, it's getting hot.
And this one.
Yeah, just opened a little bit my sunroof. So that's it. All right, let's see if anything popped up on the load board. All right, we got a power only, 1,000 miles away, going back to Ontario. $4 a mile. No, thank you.
I'll get you what I like, what I can. Passing through.
So it's very, you see the activity, but it's very slow to pick up after the holidays. Let me see. I usually sort them by heaviest weight, and we still have that Oklahoma to Manitoba. We have Alberta to Ontario. We have Texas to Alberta. And we got North Dakota to Alberta. Oh wow. Oh, by the way, and the load board changed all the searches, and I was arguing with them the other day about this. Like, I can do all US to all Canada. Okay, I said, what about all Canada to all US? No, you cannot do that. So why not? I was able to do it before. I'm on your pro plan. I'm paying a lot of money every month. Why I cannot do all Canada to all US? I said, you understand, I do specialized freight between Canada and US. We have like 15-20 loads on a good day, right? It's not like a 500, 600, 700 loads inside US, most of which are cheap anyway. But so I'm not complaining, but I said it's not gonna overload your system if I do all Canada to all US for my RGN trailer. And they said, well, we're working on it, but for now you'll have to do a separate search for each province. So I got Ontario to anywhere, Then I got Quebec to anywhere, but it's like ridiculous. So I have to have all these bunch of searches, right? Whereas before, pretty much all I had was US to Canada, Canada to US for my trailer, and then I had power only, because sometimes you can make good money with my 4-axle truck, believe it or not, because it's not such a typical truck when you have a lift axle. And they sometimes people will have a machine, usually it's a machine on its own chassis, its own trailer, but it's so heavy that you need more than 3 axles on the truck, so you need a lift axle, right? And a couple of times I did pretty good, you know, with a 4-axle truck. Just left my trailer at home, bobtail somewhere, typically into the US, and brought that to Canada. So that's another, you know, source of revenue. And so that's what I have. Right now I have 4 searches here. I killed all Alberta, that's too far for me to go, you know. So I have QC, Quebec to anywhere. I have Ontario to anywhere. Then I have US to all Canada. That's for my trailer. And then the last one I have power only, anywhere to Ontario. And this one just has like 4 loads, no, 3 loads over here, and they're all just typical BS, because they're all like 25-30,000 pounds. That's not what I'm looking for, but I'm gonna keep it anyway, because sometimes something might pop up somewhere. I remember once I deadheaded all the way to Oklahoma because they threw money at me to bring a big machine from the plant in Oklahoma City to Ontario. You know, when people give you money, you know, I will go in my truck empty, I don't care, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, because, you know, the money is good, so why not? It's like a paid vacation, especially, you know, after when you drop the trailer, driving just the truck by itself, it's a real fun. You don't have to worry about axles being somewhere there behind the corner, running on over people's feet, you know. But yeah, like I said, I see new loads, but it's very slow coming back. And most of it are light loads. So hopefully something will happen today or tomorrow. And maybe I'll go and make some money. And we've got mail. Probably another bill or something. Or it can be something that I ordered. Come on. It can be something I ordered. Like, look at this. Doesn't seem like they took very good care of this package. Can you guys guess what this is? This is, thanks to everybody for the suggestion, by the way, this thing, this little bracket, harness, let's call it that, a human being is such a gentle organism, right? When it's cold, we don't like it. When it's hot, we don't like it. But I think we probably dislike heat more than cold, right? Because cold, you can put some clothes on, or you can start the car, you can warm up. But heat, and then you open your windows. I was sitting at Starbucks. The guy started cutting the grass. I like those guys from the bottom of my heart, you know. So there's noise and there's pieces of grass flying inside the car, so you cannot open the window, right? So you have to move somewhere. I found another shades, and then I grabbed some lunch at the Pizza Hut and got some you know, kebabs, those kebabs, what do they call them, I forgot what they call them at this restaurant, but I got some soup, some kebabs. Didn't want to do it, but got a couple of samosas, you know, vegetarian samosas with peas. I like those. But anyway, so what this is, and again, thanks to everybody who made the suggestion, this is the harness that eliminates the skip shifter eliminator. So it kills the killer. It kills the skip shift. So now all I gotta do is I have to find a shop that has a car lift or hoist, because you have to go underneath, and right where the transmission is, you unplug the factory harness, and then you plug this in between. Like this will, let's say if that one sits now probably like this, so you unplug one end, plug in here, and plug this into the transmission, and that's it. This little harness tells the computer that you still have the skip shift eliminator, but in reality it stops working. So basically it's funny that how, you know, some of these mods, right, you have to spend money instead of adding features. What we're doing here is we are killing the features that the car came with, but we don't want these features, right? Because they control the car in a way that, you know, nobody wants. Like the active exhaust was one such feature, right? That it came with that from the factory. I bought a special gadget, another harness, except that one was like what was it, 7 times, 8 times more than this. This was like 25 bucks plus shipping. I think was like 35. So this little piece cost me like 50 bucks US, but it's worth it because I'm sick and tired of the transmission trying to skip the second gear on me, and it wants me to go from the first into fourth, which makes no sense whatsoever. And my phone, so yeah, I have to find somebody with a hoist, and I'll just tell them, hey, you guys charge me, you know, I don't know, 10 minutes or no, maybe 15 minutes, just in case I cannot find that harness. But I watched a couple of videos on the internet, and they tell you exactly where that harness is, the factory one that you have to unplug. But yeah, you see, this should be pretty straightforward. But they were saying you need a screwdriver. You need a flat head screwdriver, because that's how you unhook this, right? You just lift this piece slightly to unhook it, like whatever I have now. So this was really cool. It has some weird shape, so I'm guessing there's some kind of electric little gadgets inside there. It's not just this, right? Because otherwise, like, what's the point? But there's something there, probably some kind of resistors or something, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple of resistors in there. Probably that's what they're doing. Okay. Oh, let's see what kind of instructions they give you one. So for 20 bucks you get one cable, okay, and one sheet. Oh, actually this one, it has a picture. It shows you what to look for. Safely raise vehicle to allow access to transmission. Remove the connector from the skip shift solenoid. Skip shift solenoid is located about halfway down the transmission case toward the top on the driver's side. Note, do not install skip shift eliminator on the reverse lockout solenoid in your vehicle, or your vehicle will not be able to shift into reverse. The connectors are the same. So he says be careful, because there's two solenoids there. One is for the skip shift eliminator and the other one is for the reverse. So if you don't hook it up to the proper connector, you lose your reverse gear. The connectors are the same. See finger pointing at figure 1 for correct skip shift solenoid location. So you see, it's not as simple. That's why I said probably 15 minutes. Now I'm thinking more like 20. install the white connector from the skip shift eliminator, white connector, onto the skip shift solenoid transmission end. Install the original connector from the vehicle wiring into the other connector. Okay, place wiring harness back into original location tucked up along the transmission. Safely lower vehicle back down. Install is now complete. And this was kind of like, I never saw any lights, but they're saying that skip shift light on dash, and I'm reading it the way it's written, so there's no articles. They don't use any articles. It's probably China. Skip shift light on dash will still function as before, but shifting to second and third gear will no longer be locked out with eliminator installed. No eliminator on the market will turn off the light. But I don't think I ever saw a light, you know, because it always catches me by surprise when I cannot shift into second or third. It doesn't happen often, but probably a couple of times a week, and it's very annoying. So I really want to do this. So, but this is not the most important thing for me right now. Right now the most important thing is I want to find a load, and I spent the time before lunch, didn't find anything. Yeah, some guy sent me that guy that sent me the loads from Baltimore. I got excited, so I didn't read page 2 and 3. It turns out they were all inside US. And then somebody, I heard my phone beep. Oh, it's these guys from, it's a trailer dealer from Illinois. Eloka Services. They keep sending me emails about wonderful sale on their trailers, dump trucks and dump trailers and RGNs and step decks. Deleted. And the other one is from Popeye Supplements, where I made a mistake of buying something, so now I'm their email list. So whenever they have a sale, I'm invited to participate. Alright, let's go find some shade, because you know, whenever the sun is behind the clouds, it's not so bad, but once it gets out, it's, as we used to say in Ukraine, хавайся. This is my room for the night. Pretty comfy. Small. The TV is a bit on the small side. I usually use this to put under my computer so that it doesn't overheat when you're lying on the bed. A working station. But that's cool. They give you lots of plugs. You know, probably reach from the bed over here. A microwave, a small fridge, so that's it. It's getting very hot outside. It looks like it's gonna rain. You know, it's one of those days when you feel it's like steam in the air. So I hope it's gonna rain. So I didn't find any loads today, but I did one kind gesture. Like one guy, one US broker keeps posting a load that weighs 98,000 pounds and is 14.5 tall. 14.5. And he offers it to go from Ontario to Cochrane, Alberta. And there is a town in Alberta, Cochrane, but I'm much more familiar. I never heard about a town in Alberta with that name, but I'm very well familiar with Cochrane, Ontario, which is about 6-7 hours away from Toronto, up north. And then, of course, so it cannot be over 2,000 miles, but he's listing, because he posted it to Cochrane, Alberta, it's like over 2,000 miles, and he's trying to find somebody to move a 98,000 pound load, 14 foot 6 inch tall, 14 feet 6 inches tall. And if you look at what he's willing to pay, it's like $3.23 a mile. And each time he reposts that, and I see other guys, they say Cochrane, Ontario. This guy keeps reposting Cochrane, Alberta. The same load, I see the same weight, same dimensions, you know, different brokers, right? So I finally could not stand it any longer, so I open his listing. I see he has his email there. I send him a message. Hey, I think you're making a mistake here, because it cannot possibly pay that. But I didn't say that. I said, you probably mean Cochrane, Ontario, not Cochrane, Alberta, which is like 2,000 kilometers, or I don't know, 1,500 miles away, right? And this guy sends me back a message. He says, so yeah, you're right. It's actually Cochrane, Ontario. I said, cool, except that I cannot help you with this load because you need a beam trailer, because it's 14.6. But I said, at least this way, the rate might look a bit more attractive to people that have a beam trailer. And that was my kind act of the day. You're welcome. Ciao.